This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
I'd like to convene the Tuesday, November 18, 2025 North Haven Fire Commission meeting to order. I'd like everyone to please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Before we get started this evening, I'd like to say a couple of words about two of our commissioners who will be here at their last meeting. Vincent Gallo and Pat Brown. I can't tell you how pleased I have been to have both of you as part of our commission, and you certainly have left our fire department in a better position than you found it. I want to thank you for your years of service, your dedication, your loyalty to the department and to this commission. Your presence will be missed. And I know that you will continue to have the fire department in your heart and be as actively involved as you possibly can as a non-fire commissioner. So again, on behalf of this commission, I want to thank both of you for your years of service. Having said that, I'd like to move on to our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're so welcome. I'd like to ask for the approval of the minutes of the Board of Fire Commission meeting that was held on October 28, 2025. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any question on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Chief's report.
Good evening. I'll start with alarms as we normally do, and we'll start with year-to-date. So year-to-date, 2025, 4,066. Year-to-date this time last year, 4,196. We haven't had a whole lot of time that's elapsed since our last meeting, so these numbers are going to seem a little small, but they're going to cover a time period of October 27th until just yesterday, November 17th. So since that time, 8 ALS intercepted transports, 18 incident responses to the highway, 81 incidents that just an ambulance responded to with no fire department resource needed, and I was not able to grab the overlapping calls. I think it has something to do with the outage that was today with Microsoft. It wouldn't run the report for me, so I'm assuming that's what it was. It's the first time it's done that to me. Regarding the budget, so we are at 33.4%, and that was as of the close of period 4, which brings us to the end of this past October. I have no report from finance on the fire fees or on the ALS billing. A couple of high-level overviews on the staffing. So we continue to talk about a number of absences that are occurring. Again, I'll read through them in no particular order. We've had one member who's been out now. It's exceeded a year actually at this point. So we've been covering an absence for over a year. That is an injury leave, another injury leave since July 22nd, another injury leave since August 25th. We've had one vacancy that we've been carrying since September 8th of 2024. I'm sorry, since May 11th, 2025, we've been carrying that vacancy. Another one since obviously the end of August. That was a unexpected vacancy. We had one member return to work after about a month. Another member that we anticipate being out for about 30 days, and he went out on October 20th. Another member with only a couple of weeks absence, and we just had another member return last week actually, who was out since the end of September. And so there's a lot of vacancies there that we're carrying, and we're doing so through the contractual replacement staffing line. So just please be aware of that. We're working aggressively to try to get the members back to work as soon as we can.
The one out through October 20th, is that an injury?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to. There's so many of them. What do you remember what
It was
I
the third from the last. It was October 20th.
October 20th, we anticipate that for about a 30-day absence. So that covers the budget. Is there any questions at all regarding the alarms or the budget? We'll move on to the fire marshal's report, if you'll allow me to. You were provided a report prior to this meeting. There's nothing that really jumps out. I'll just give again a high level. For the month of October, 67 total inspections, 31 plan reviews, 53 permits, 50 public records requests, and 58 public inquiries. And we had the investigators on scene at 3 different fires for the month of October. That covers the fire marshal's report, and I'd like to ask the deputy chief of operations for a report.
Good evening, Commissioners. I passed out my updated report with October's numbers on. During the month of October, North Haven firefighters completed approximately 298 hours of training, broken down into individual hours. That's 987 individual hours for career firefighters and 283 individual training hours for our volunteer firefighters. You can see the breakdown by category that's here. Highlights for the month for the career department. Obviously, it was fire prevention month during October, so there was a lot of public education that went on. Activities where they firefighters would go to the schools. In one instance, Deputy Chief Naples and one of the firefighters went to the library and read to the kids there, trying to raise awareness about fire prevention in an age-appropriate manner. Additionally, we had EMS training going on. We do have one firefighter still attending initial paramedic training. That's almost full-time, so that's quite a few hours there. Review of solar emergencies, victim packaging, and our RDC rescue craft, the yellow boat we introduced you to last month. So we actually have that in service now and available for use on calls, and also some hose line work there. For the volunteers, apparatus and equipment maintenance, working on pumping drills, specifically with hydrants and master streams, so large caliber streams moving large volumes of water for fires like that. Also radio communications and victim packaging. I'm happy to report that our parking lot behind the new garage at the training center is finally paved, so that makes it operational and sustainable. So in the winter time when it snows, we can clear and get the equipment out of that new barn up there, out of the new garage. So that'll be good. And you can see some pictures of some of the training that happened throughout the course of the month. And that's all I have for you, unless you have any questions. I do have one additional thing that's not part of the October report. We did just film a PSA on turkey fryer safety. It's something that happened in North Haven last Thanksgiving. We had a fire at a residential building from a turkey fire that spilled out and caught some adjoining stuff on fire outside. So we wanted to really raise awareness of that. We've pushed that out on our social media pages. We did a live fire demo last week up at the training center with some of our partners from ProClean and Carter Mario. So.
Is that something we could get up on NHTV?
We can, and it's on our Facebook page right now. I have a YouTube link there, and we can certainly get it out that way. It's about 6.5 minutes long, so
Okay.
a little long for a PSA. And I was trying to figure out a 1-minute spot, but it's it came out pretty good.
Okay.
Dep, the paramedic training, the person who's at training as a paramedic, do we know when that training will be completed? Or where they are in the process?
She's in the second semester of the training, I believe.
Okay.
So, and she's been in for about 7 months.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it until
is it a
probably,
15 month?
I wouldn't expect it until probably June of '26 by the time we're done with
Yeah.
clinicals
Okay.
and everything. It's usually the full semester.
All right. Thank you.
If you allow me to, I'd like to ask Deputy Chief of Administration for a report as well.
Good evening, Commission, and thank you again. Luckily, with our fleet management, we only have one vehicle out of service, and that's going to be Truck 2, as we discussed last meeting. That was a meeting with First Selectman Frida, as well as our Finance Director, as well as the Chief, to determine the fact that we are not going to invest any more money into that vehicle itself, in hopes to be getting a new aerial to be able to replace that over at Northeast. There was a couple of repairs that were completed throughout the month. One of the major ones being engine 6 with the water pump and the front tire replacement. That was out for 17 days. The other, out of service apparatus were only for a couple hours here and there. We have 2 hydrants that are out of service. Those were struck by vehicles. We're working with the police department to get some accident reports and to hopefully get those repaired sooner than later. Over the month, we've also been in the process of doing our hydrant inspections that our crews are out there right now and identifying some of the ones that are wet hydrants, and they're going to be pumping those out. Just like, Chief Bisson had mentioned, we've been out in the community a lot, getting to some community events, as well as some fire safety and, through the library as well. Again, we're looking forward to one coming up in December, which we're going to be hosting at the Northeast Fire Station. That's going to be introduction to the fire service, and we're hoping to be able to do some recruitment for volunteers, as well as just educating the public on what we do here in the fire service. And then, again, I just provided you with your printout for our current November and out-of-service apparatus.
Dep, the two fire hydrants that were struck by automobiles, and I know you're looking for the police reports, any chance that their insurance underwrites the cost of the repairs or replacement of those?
That's the goal.
Okay. Does fire hydrants cost to replace what?
A large amount of money, depending upon the work that has to happen. It could be anywhere from $4,000 to $12,000
So a full replacement, 12,000?
if they have to excavate out.
Wow. And how many fire hydrants do we have in town, approximately?
Over 700.
880, I believe, is a number, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. A lot of money in fire hydrants.
And the last page is for a discussion later on in the meeting. Not for right now.
Any questions of our deputies regarding their reports? Thank you very much, appreciate it. Any correspondence, Chief?
No correspondence that I've received, no.
Any commissioners receive any correspondence? Hearing none, old business of the fire department.
Mr. Chairman, I have no old business or new business. I have a few items for good of the department.
Okay,
Couple of quick questions, old business.
Yeah.
I know we talked a while ago about Nelson was being purchased by Yale, right?
I got that in good of the department. If you want to cover it now, I'm welcome
Okay.
to. Sure.
I just had a couple people
Sure.
ask me questions about, does that mean that we get a new contract? How does that impact?
Yeah,
the-
sure. So, as you've seen in the news, Yale New Haven Hospital acquired Nelson Ambulance. It's now going to be called Y-Access. So you'll see the labeling of the ambulances and so forth. They've already actually changed. Might be a couple left over, but they'll all be changing over to the Yale branding. And so what that did was the contract that we had last signed with Nelson Ambulance, in anticipation of this, there was some language added, verbiage added towards the end, which allowed it to be transferable. And so we were able to transfer the contract from the ownership of Nelson Ambulance to Yale New Haven Hospital. That contract still expires at the end of October 2026, but through that period of time, the contract stays in place, and the outcomes, the measurable outcomes we have in place remain as well.
So generally, 2 ambulances in town, unless, of course, those instances where they get diverted someplace else. 'Cause they-
Generally, yes,
Okay.
one of which is ALS, yeah.
And paramedic, the number of paramedics they have to have?
One.
Just one, okay.
and you're right, Jen, as far as getting pulled out of town, there's the possibility that in the event of an emergency, they're pulled out of North Haven, and
Right.
it could be wherever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then obviously, because we're a licensed ambulance, our rescue is, in the event we needed to go into operation as far as an ambulance is concerned, our department would transport someone to the hospital.
right. And someone asked me this, and I'm pretty sure the answer is it doesn't, but the PSAR, that doesn't matter.
We
'cause
own
we
PSA.
own it, right?
Yeah, we just
Okay.
subcontract it out, yep. Yeah, we're never gonna give that up again.
Yeah.
No,
No,
took too much to get it.
yeah.
Did you have any other questions, Jen?
I think that was it.
Chief? Good of the
Nothing for,
department? Was that-
good of the department. So just to close up on that, I do just want to recognize Deputy Chief Bisson. So part of that transition, which, goes unrecognized, is the amount of prep that we needed to do for that. So obviously, the CAD exchange of data, so the computers that are talking back and forth to each other, needed to be completely reset. So Deputy Chief Bisson and our IT department had hands-on with that, in not only in the go live the last couple of days, but in testing environments that have been going on for several months actually. That included our electronic patient care reporting system that needs to change, our billing system that needs to change, and some dispatch updates that need to change as well. So we, had a great relationship with Nelson Ambulance. We look forward to that same relationship with Yale New Haven Hospital. I have every reason to believe at this point that nothing's going to change. In fact, we expect it to get better.
Very good. So do we anticipate many of the same employees that were with Nelson will continue on with Yale?
That's what we've been told, and we expect also the hospital to start hiring more employees as well. Only because Nelson was kind of holding back the last couple of months in transition, obviously, and they're going to start making up for some lost time now.
Okay. Also, under the good of the department, I know last month we had an extensive conversation regarding the ladder truck that was on order. And Deputy Chief Naples made mention that truck 2 has been and continues to be out of service, and the administration has decided not to spend the $100,000 to repair it. More than likely, it's going to be scrapped or whatever we're going to do with it. So we have been advised by the First Selectman that we will take delivery of the ladder truck as planned. My understanding is December sometime?
December, January, we might take possession of it. It
Yeah.
won't go into service for some period of time still.
Yeah, so obviously, once we take delivery of it, it needs to go out to be retrofitted with equipment. Our staff will need to train on it before we're able to put it into service.
Correct.
Good news. Really excited about the fact that new apparatus is going to be delivered, and hopefully by the first of the year, shortly thereafter, it'll be pressed into service. And with all of the high-rise apartments that we have in town, that's going to afford us the opportunity really to provide the services that we need that truck to do, that ladder truck to do. So thanks for your diligence on that particular subject, Chief, and thanks to Mike Frieda for finding a way to underwrite the cost of that apparatus. We really, really appreciate it. My further understanding is, as far as the second apparatus, it's a year or so down the line, and the Board of Finance will look to complete a program to underwrite the cost of that as well. So now that we have sufficient time prior to taking delivery of the truck, they'll be able to determine how they're going to finance it or purchase it or whatever the finance mechanism will be. So that will help us immensely, I think, when you start looking at the lines of apparatus that are out of service for such a lengthy period of time. We'll have an opportunity to take certainly that ladder truck that is scrap, and then hopefully we'll be able to replace a truck that is 25. By that time, it'll be 27 years old.
The engine? Yeah.
The engine, yeah. So it'll certainly upgrade our fleet and hopefully reduce some of the repair cost that we've been incurring as a department because of the aged fleet. So I'm pretty encouraged about that. And as I mentioned earlier, the two commissioners that have been involved in this whole discussion since 2023, it was, in part, your contribution that has made this possible. So again, thank you. Anything else under good of the department, Chief?
I do. A couple of the quick things. I was asked last month about the number of paramedics, and so I can report that we have 19 that are active paramedics, and then I have some preliminary budget materials for you that I can distribute as well as we get ready for the budget. So as we're preparing the 26-27 fiscal year budget, I owe some financial numbers to the finance department for December 1st, and we are presenting at our workshop on Saturday, January 10th at 9:15 a.m. And so, this is, I would say this is about 90% complete, and you're welcome to take a look at it and kind of see where we're at right now. The first page is coming around is the operating budget. And so just imagine this as page, I think it's 28 of the budget. That's just the Excel file so I can keep track of the math and so forth.
So what is the proposed increase on these line items, Chief? Is strictly inflationary or?
Yeah, for the most part, so you'll see on the form, the yellow are contractual lines, so those lines, that's my estimation of what they will come in at, but finance provides, on that first page, with the 30 or so lines. Finance will provide the yellow shaded number, but that's what I anticipate it to be or close to it. The red are what I'm asking for, in terms of increases, so you can see only 3 lines are red. So that's all I'm looking at in terms of increases to operations. Those account for the contractual replacement staffing line, the electricity line, because as we've all seen, even our own homes, electricity continues to increase, and we've been over budget on that the last couple of years. And then the building maintenance repair line, we're trying to increase that by $20,000, and that is due in large part to the fact that we are now incurring the cost for the landscaping of the 3 outside fire stations. So if you remember, we had increased the budget last year. That was not accounted for in it. That was shifted to our budget without our awareness as this budget started. And so the increase that I had sought in the building line to take care of other items going on throughout the department was absorbed by the shift of cost for the landscaping to the fire department. And so that's just simply making that back up. The second page, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go back. Where is that on here? So, because I thought that maybe this was around the snow plowing. There was a 2 years ago where the Board of Finance, we had talked
Right now, we're
about
not.
it. They fixed the issue and said that
Correct.
Public Works was supposed to be managing that.
Correct, but that's-
that has not happened with the landscaping.
Yeah, correct.
So are we paying an outside contractor to
Yes.
landscape? So it's the same issue, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, Chief, you have brought to our attention in the past, as far as building maintenance is concerned, with the renovations that were done 12 years ago, with a lot of the electronics and automated systems, there's a lot of maintenance that is involved in maintaining. I know this particular space is, and it's pretty cold in here tonight, it has been an issue between the air conditioning and the heating and whatever. So is that going to be reflected in this building maintenance line?
Yeah.
As far as that increase in contracts and repairs?
In part, yes. Yeah, obviously we have, you will see in the narrative I sent out, so that's the pages that staple together. That's
Yeah.
the explanation for the
Okay.
increases. You can see why we talk about the need for the line to be increased. You've got, 2 of the 4 stations that are 13 years old, and then 2 stations that were remodeled, but aspects of those stations are still from the 50s. And so those parts of the stations were never remodeled, and so we're still trying to keep up with just general maintenance. I mean, we have 4 buildings plus outbuildings. It's a lot to take care of. When people drive by and they say, why are the lights out on the firehouse, or why is the flagpole not working? All those things cost money. So yeah, it's a lot to keep up with.
And the contractual replacement staffing, that line, obviously what you just articulated as far as all of these outs or folks who are on sick or injury or whatever it might be, and one of those persons were out for a year, that's where those monies come
Correct.
from. Is that correct?
Yes.
So as we had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 firefighters that were out for whatever period of time, but one of which was a year, that's a sizable amount of dollars that are gonna be coming out of that line.
So again, preliminary, I ask you to keep this to yourself,
Yeah.
please. This isn't supposed to be a budget workshop right
Yeah,
now. I'm just
yeah.
trying to give you an idea of where we're at. The second page on the Excel file here, all those shaded numbers, that would be the capital budget right now that we're anticipating. The yellow right now, I do not know where we're gonna land with that because I need to figure out how we're going to pay for some of the apparatus. And so there's no way for me to account for that right now unless I can actually figure out what the Board of Finance, First Selectman, and Finance Director have in mind for what the contributions are gonna be annually. Once I have that, I'll be able to give you a better idea of what that looks like.
Just 2 quick questions, not to get stuck on the landscaping piece. The landscaping piece, the contractors are for all 4, it's not
It's for 3 of the 4.
3 out of the 4, okay. And that's because traditionally, 3 of the 4 were volunteers, even, were houses for volunteer.
I don't know why. They've always been town buildings. It's because traditionally it was funded for through the central facilities line, and it's no longer funded that way.
Okay, and where, if I go back to the budget for this year, where is on here, do you know?
It's in the well, it would be under the building maintenance line.
So it's embedded in there, it's not specific, okay.
Yep.
Do you know how much that specific amount is though for
It's
that?
almost the amount we're asking for the increase of.
Okay. Okay,
Thanks for this information, Chief. I think it's very helpful for us to be able to digest some of these numbers prior to the workshop and, have some further discussion with you as we move forward. Any other questions, Jen?
no,
Pat?
no.
Okay, you good? No? Okay. Anything else there, Chief?
Nothing else to go to the department, no.
I don't see anyone here for public comments, so we'll entertain a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. I'd like to reconvene the Tuesday, November 18, 2025 North Haven Fire Commission meeting to order. Is there any additional business coming before this commission? Here are none. I'd like to announce that the next regularly scheduled Board of Fire Commission meeting will be scheduled for Tuesday, December 16, 2025 at 6 o'clock at the Monowese Company 2, 282 Quinnipiac Avenue. Before we adjourn, I once again want to thank Pat Brown, Commissioner, and Commissioner Vincent Gallo for their
Thank you, Mr.
years
Chairman.
of service to this commission. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.